This is a silicone gun, sometimes referred to as a caulking gun. It has a lever on the back that you use to retract the plunger, and it's just a standard pistol grip that you squeeze and it'll push silicone out. So you can see if you hold the lever down at the back, you can pull the rod back, and now we're ready to load a silicone tube. So this is the tube. All we do is we unscrew the nozzle if there is one on it, and I just get a knife or a blade and I very carefully cut the tip off so that I can use it. This is the nozzle that comes with it. I can cut this nozzle if I want to make it a larger hole if I want a lot of silicone to come out, or I can keep it a very small hole on the end if I'm doing a very fine job. So once again, I just use my blade, cut a little bit off. I can cut at an angle if I'm doing a corner thing. For what we're doing, generally you can just cut a straight cut, and you probably want a larger cut because you're going to cover a large amount of area. So now I just screw the nozzle on. If it has one of these little tabs that you can see, put that in as well. Otherwise it just screws onto the end, and you generally do this before you load it into the caulking gun. Now I'm going to put the tip first, slide it in. If the plunger is all the way back, it should fit in quite well. And then you just gently pull the trigger a few times until you can feel it start to take up pressure when it touches the back of the tube. From there, it's just a case of pulling the trigger and it'll start to push silicone out of the nozzle. From there, you're good to go. So for the heat shield, you can just squeeze a blob onto your heat shield and then spread it around with fingers, using gloves of course. Otherwise, if you're trying to do something a little bit more finessing, just put little dots all over it, but that's entirely up to you how you distribute. Once you're done, press the lever in the back and pull the plunger out to release the pressure so it doesn't continue pushing. From there, we just need to block the end off. If we don't block the end, it's going to start to set, and often it'll set all the way down through the nozzle and into the tube, and we've ruined the whole tube. So you can use a screw and just sort of wedge it in there. Often what I'll generally do is just use masking tape, so just wrap a whole bunch of masking tape over the end just to try and seal it. You want to sort of stop the air from getting in so that the silicone doesn't go off.